Let's argue, y'all. If you agree with me, then we can talk. If you don't agree with me, we can argue. It's whatever y'all want to do. I'm playing the game right now though, but I'll see your comments when you guys have comments. I just think it's funny though how people that argue that oh, you're biased if you like just if you just defend Errol Spence, or you say he's a good boxer, or you say he can't beat this person, or he can't or he can beat this person, or he can beat that person, they say it's because we're biased. How is it that everybody who's vouching for Errol Spence is biased, but all the people who don't like him are not biased? And they clearly show their bias by insulting him. They say stupid stuff like, "Oh, he couldn't listen to the word couldn't even knock Mikey Garcia out." First of all, y'all heard that man say that his intention was to outbox Mikey Garcia. So he's already told you he's going to outbox Mikey Garcia. Why in the world would you not believe him unless you were biased? That's bias. If a man says something and you automatically just say, "Oh, he's lying," first of all, he had a legitimate reason for why he wanted to outbox Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia was saying throughout that whole press tour that he was the smarter boxer. He was just a little bit better at everything than Errol Spence. And he said everything. He didn't just say, "Oh, I'm better than him at this or that." He said, "I'm better than Errol Spence at everything." He made a statement like that. And he's even said Errol Spence is like the bully, come forward with your head down type boxer, and that Mikey Garcia would be able to outbox him because he sees some holes and stuff. That man landed less than 100 punches against Errol Spence. He threw how many? He threw a very small fraction of what Errol Spence threw. I'll have to look up the stats after this round is over. But Errol Spence threw over 1,000 punches at Mikey Garcia. He had Mikey Garcia on the back foot the entire night. He didn't have to knock him out. He crucified him. He completely dominated him. That was the most dominant performance of the year, of that year. And you guys aren't satisfied with it. Instead, you'd rather say, "Oh, he couldn't knock Mikey Garcia out." Get the heck out of here. He's knocked out people that have never been knocked out before. And you're talking about he can't knock out Mikey Garcia. Look at his knockout percentage. And you guys really say this dumb stuff. You don't even look at the stats either. Then you got people arguing because Keith Thurman said that he would dominate Errol Spence. And I don't agree with it. But I'm biased. How am I biased? Whenever Keith Thurman fought Sean Porter, he didn't drop him, and he got outlanded by one punch. Sean Porter landed one more punch than Keith Thurman. Errol Spence outlanded Sean Porter by 49 punches, and he outlanded him in power shots by 42 punches, and he knocked him down, and he had him on the back foot. And they fought an inside fight, even though Errol Spence is the longer fighter. So how in the world am I biased for thinking that Errol Spence is better than Keith Thurman? Peep this. Keith Thurman's two most reputable wins are over Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, right? Okay. The most impressive win Keith Thurman has is over Sean Porter. He's the better fighter out of the two big names that he beat, being that Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia. Now, peep this. Errol Spence beat Sean Porter, and then he beat somebody that also beat Sean Porter. So Errol Spence's top two wins, his top two names that he beat are better than Keith Thurman's top two. Kell Brook is his number one, which is better than Sean Porter, which is Keith Thurman's number one. And Sean Porter is Errol Spence's number two, which is better than Keith Thurman's number two, which was Danny Garcia, who Sean Porter beat. And people keep arguing, "Oh, styles make fights. Styles make fights." How many different styles do you want Errol Spence to beat? He beat Chris Algieri. He beat the boxing technician Mikey Garcia. He beat the bully Sean Porter. Comes straightforward, volume punching, all that good stuff. He beat the absolute monster Kell Brook. So what more do you want the man to do? You want him to beat Keith Thurman? Okay, well tell Keith Thurman to quit hiding and go fight him then. Tell him to go fight him then. Tell him to go fight him. In my opinion, every fight is different. You're right about that. You're definitely right about that. But at the end of the day, look at how dominant the Errol Spence's performances are against top level competition. People are saying he couldn't even knock out Mikey. Like Mikey didn't just come from 140 to 147. Not only that, they all walk around heavier than they fight at. And I'm pretty sure Mikey Garcia showed up heavier the night of the fight than Errol Spence. So what are you guys talking about, bro? Like people are willing to say anything to discredit anybody who doesn't agree with them. Like, bro, the fight stats in Errol Spence's fight against Sean Porter were way more dominant than the stats in Sean Porter versus Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman didn't even knock him down. He didn't knock him down. He didn't have him on his back foot. Sean Porter was pressing forward towards Keith Thurman the entire fight. The entire fight, Keith Thurman was fighting off the back foot. Guess what? Errol Spence was pushing Sean Porter back. And then whenever Sean Porter came forward, Errol Spence stood still to trade with him. He won the majority of the trades they had. The stats prove it. And he dropped them. He dropped them. So what are you talking about? Not one time did Sean Porter daze or stun Errol in that fight. And they were trading. Errol Spence threw 745 punches. Sean Porter threw 744 punches. Keith Thurman threw 400 and something punches against Sean Porter, and Sean Porter threw 500 and something punches that fight. So guess what? Sean Porter had the best night of his life against Errol Spence and still lost. He still lost. Keith Thurman could never. You show me a fight where Keith Thurman threw 1,000 punches, and I'll shut up. You show me a fight where against top level competition, Mikey Garcia is no walkover opponent. He beat the brakes off of Adrian Broner. He dominated Adrian Broner, who also knocked down Sean Porter. So peep this. Adrian Broner knocked down Sean Porter, but couldn't knock down Mikey Garcia. And y'all are saying this. Y'all are saying this about Errol Spence. Adrian Broner got beat by Mikey Garcia and was able to knock down Sean Porter. The only two people to ever knock down Sean Porter is Errol Spence and Adrian Broner. One of them lost to Mikey. One of them beat Mikey. Think about it. Not only that, Manny Pacquiao's victory over Keith Thurman was more impressive than his victory over Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner lost clearly, but he barely got hit. And when he did, they weren't all clean punches. Yeah, he didn't let his hands go. He didn't even let his hands go, and he barely got beat. You kidding me? What's up, Syfe? He got hit with he got with 123. That's not that much. Try 200. Try 200 and something punches. I'm sorry, bro, but you're not fixing to tell me that Keith Thurman is better than Errol Spence. He became champion by beating Paulie Malignaggi, who had one of the shortest career runs ever. He's a 2-time champion. Cool. But look how many losses Paulie Malignaggi has. Paulie Malignaggi won't even be a Hall of Famer. I bet Adrian Broner will. I bet Adrian Broner will be a Hall of Famer. Like, gotta be kidding me. Because Mikey changed and had to gain weight to fight. Bro, I'm a boxer. One thing I will tell you is gaining weight, yes, it takes a toll. It does. But bro, he walks around close to the weight he fought at. He cuts down to fight at 140 and 135. And the best fighters in the best shape are the ones that walk around at the weight they fight at. You're strong at that weight. Mikey Garcia walks around a little heavier than 147. So try again. Errol Spence is cutting down from 185 or 190 to make 147. Are you kidding me? You could tell just by looking at him at the press conferences and the fight night that he was dehydrated. So try again. Try again. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not talking down on Mikey. I respect Mikey, especially for what he did. To me, my overall pound for pound, Mikey Garcia is way better than Keith Thurman. I don't even care if Keith Thurman can beat him. Pound for pound, Mikey Garcia is a better fighter than Keith Thurman. What up? What up, Mike James Boxing? Salute, brother. Like, bro, it just kills me. So no. Truly Droop. Some of y'all know. Some of you guys know, but everybody doesn't know. Like, bro, I've been arguing with people all day because of my criticism of Keith Thurman saying that he vows to dominate Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, not one or the other, both of them. But he won't fight Errol Spence. He's had the opportunity forever. He refuses to fight Errol Spence. He refuses to fight him. When Errol Spence beat Kell Brook, Keith Thurman had every excuse in the world not to fight him. Before that, it was because he didn't have a belt. He wasn't, and before that, it was because he wasn't a big name. He was a nobody, and he was green. He ain't green no more, bro. And now he's got 2 belts. So get your butt in that ring if you want to. If you'll beat him, show us. I don't want to hear no more talking about that, bro. Show us. Show me. And for all the people that keep saying that I'm biased, no, I'm not. Y'all bring up stats to say that Keith Thurman beat Sean Porter, but the stats show that Sean Porter outlanded Keith Thurman by 1 punch. Hold on, let me pause this. Let me pause this real quick, so I can be 100% correct. I don't want to lie. You know what I'm saying? And he landed more. Keith Thurman was the more precise fighter by 8% because he only threw 539, but he landed 235. So he landed 1 less. They gave him a unanimous decision for this. They gave him a unanimous decision at 115 to 113. So they say he won 2 more rounds than Sean Porter. Okay, cool. I don't that it is what it is. People want to believe that, they can believe that. In Spence versus Porter, Spence landed 221 out of 745. Sean Porter landed 172 out of 744. So Errol Spence was the busier fighter by 1 punch, and he outlanded him by 49 punches, and he was more precise. He landed 29.7% of his total punches, and Sean Porter landed 23.1% of his total punches. Errol Spence landed 184 power punches out of 416, 112 of which were body punches. Like anybody who knows boxing knows it's way easier to get countered whenever you throw body punches. He landed 112 power punches to the body and a total of 184 power punches to get an accuracy rating of 44.2%. Okay? Sean Porter landed 142 out of 553 power punches thrown. Only 41 were to the body, and he was still only 25.7%. Dominated him in power punches. The only thing Sean Porter did more accurately and didn't even do more of was jab. Errol Spence landed 37 out of 329 jabs. Sean Porter landed 30 out of 191 jabs. So he didn't even throw the jab that much. And he landed at 15.7%, and Errol Spence landed at 11.2%. Every single round. Wait. Let me check again before I say that. Okay, so round 4, Porter outlanded him by 1, but Errol Spence outlanded him round 1 through 3. Round 5, Spence. Round 6, Spence. Round 7, Spence. Round 7 is Porter. So that's 2 rounds so far, and we're going to 8. Round 8, Spence. Round 9, they landed the same amount. Round 10, Spence. Round 11, Spence. Round 12, Spence. So Spence outlanded Sean Porter for 9 rounds. They landed the same amount for 1 round, and Porter only outlanded him for 2 rounds, guys. And guess what? On every single round, Errol Spence was more accurate than Sean Porter. Every single round, guys. You mean to tell me that he almost lost that fight? That's what y'all saw? Y'all saw Errol Spence losing or almost losing that fight. Y'all don't feel like Errol Spence dominated or at least beat him in a better fashion than Keith Thurman? Get the heck out of here, guys. I'm tired. I'm so tired of people just saying a bunch of random stuff and trying so hard to discredit somebody that doesn't agree with them. Well, I don't even care that y'all think he won. I just hate the fact that y'all are saying anybody who thinks otherwise is biased. How? You're not going to strip me of my credibility because I know my stats and I know my numbers and I know boxing. Half you people that sit online and argue with me all day have never even been to a boxing gym before. And people say, oh, you don't have to box to know boxing. Bro, I don't care about that statement. It's stupid to me. If you want to argue with a boxer, you have to at least have experienced some level of boxing. You're not fixing to get in the ring and argue with Roy Jones Jr. about how to knock somebody out. He does it. So you're not going to argue with me about how to box. I do it. Like, bro. Two out of 3 championship judges had Errol Spence winning. 2 out of 3. Most sports analysis say yes, it was fight of the year. It was a close fight, but Errol Spence won. Bro, yeah, like at the end of the day, y'all gonna believe what you want, and y'all gonna take the side of whatever fighter y'all want. But bro, don't accuse somebody of being biased when you're the one that's biased. Because based on stats and based on the outcome of both fights and what happened in both fights, based on resumes, all that stuff, Errol Spence is the better fighter. But I mean, we can go as deep as you guys want to go into this. Bro, do I gotta pull up Boxing Rec to prove my point about the resumes? Y'all like, bro, y'all It say so Errol Spence's win over shoot. Dang it. Lon. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at box rec because I don't want to get this wrong. That when you get your facts wrong, it takes away credibility, and I'm not trying to do that to myself. So I'm not even gonna throw a name out there. It's at the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it out. Okay. Let me pull up Keith Thurman's box rec in a separate tab just to make sure that I'm doing them side by side and not going back and forth. Bro, like, and my petty is only coming from the fact that you know. All right. Okay. Okay. So let's get to it. All right. Okay, Lamont Peterson. So people, and I'm gonna go in on this one, bro, because this aggravates me. This aggravates me. Lamont Peterson was in his 30s when Errol Spence beat him, right? After Errol Spence beat him, everybody was like, well, Lamont Peterson is washed up. He's over the hill. He's this, that. He has this many losses. But they talked about his losses. Lamont Peterson had 3 losses at the time that Errol Spence beat him. He has 5 losses now, okay? He has 5 losses and a draw. He fought one more person after Errol Spence and he retired. But he announced his retirement at Errol Spence's fight. Okay, after the fight with Errol Spence. Okay. So he has a total of 5 losses, 3 by KO. Okay. How is it that Lamont Peterson was washed up when he fought Errol Spence, but Manny Pacquiao isn't washed up when he fought Keith Thurman? That doesn't even begin to make sense when at the time that Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao fought, Manny Pacquiao had 7 losses. He has 7 losses and 2 draws, and he has 3 KOs, just like Lamont Peterson. So Manny Pacquiao is taking more L's and just as many knockouts as Lamont Peterson. And Lamont Peterson's knockouts were stoppages. He got stopped. Manny Pacquiao was face down, knocked out twice. So what are y'all talking about? Y'all don't want to count Errol Spence beating a legend, but you want to respect Keith Thurman for the fashion in which he lost to Manny Pacquiao. How does that make sense, bro? How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. That's why. And Manny Pacquiao was older when he fought Keith Thurman. He was older. So Lamont Peterson was younger and had less losses, and he was washed up. He's not a reputable win for Errol Spence. But Keith Thurman losing to Manny Pacquiao deserves some sort of respect. Like you guys want to make an excuse for that. You guys want to make an excuse for that. Let's continue. All right, so I'm gonna just go by 5-star fighters which are ranked at 5 stars and 4 stars by Boxing Rec. Okay, so Errol Spence has Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia, and Kell Brick, all 3 of which are ranked at 5 stars by Boxing Rec. Now we're gonna go to 4 stars. Keep in mind whenever I say this, keep in mind after I give you guys these stats, there's 3 people on his resume that are 5-star fighters. Okay, and all three are world champions. We're world champions. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 4-star boxers. Okay, so that's 8 boxers above 3 stars. Okay, so let's get to it. Now, Keith Thurman. So he beat 3 5-star fighters. One of them is Josecito Lopez, though, who had 7 losses at the time he fought him. Think about that. And he struggled with Josecito Lopez. So Josecito Lopez had 7 losses in 3 was knocked out 3 times. He's actually rated a 4.5-star fighter now. But at the time Thurman fought him, he was a 5-star. So he has that. Then he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I tried to find more for him. So he has 6. He has 6 4-star fighters under his belt. Let's look at his. I don't get it. I don't even get how these guys are ranked this high when I'm looking at all these losses, bro. Like, bro, Keith Thurman. Okay. All right. So y'all got that. Y'all keeping up, right? Okay. Like I'm fixing to dissect the you know what out of this whole thing, bro. Because for somebody to call me biased when I've gone through all this before even forming my opinion. Because keep in mind, I'm a '90s baby. I was born in 1992. I grew up on Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson. Those were the fighters I grew up watching. I grew up watching Mayweather. Oscar De La Hoya, who I actually liked when he was a fighter. I don't like him now because he's slimy and greasy. But, like I grew up watching these fighters. I watched Pernell Whitaker. Keith Thurman is somebody I watched and rooted for before Errol Spence even went to the Olympics, guys. Keep in mind, I've been watching Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman's not even that much older than Errol Spence. I followed his amateur career, guys. So like I don't have bias against Keith Thurman. He's just not a better fighter than Errol. All right, so now I'm gonna look through and I'm gonna count undefeated fighters that they both fought. Okay, people that were undefeated at the time that they beat him. All right, so that's 1. Okay. Okay, I can admit that Keith Thurman has more undefeated fighters under his belt, even though one of them had 0 wins, 0 losses, just a draw. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. So Keith Thurman got that one. He has more undefeated opponents. Okay, but I'm still right because the bigger names like Errol Spence got that. Like Errol Spence beat Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, Chris Algieri, who's known for his extreme boxing capabilities. Guys, he's not no walkover fight. And he beat Phil LaGreco too. As a matter of fact, Phil LaGreco hadn't even been knocked out until he fought Errol Spence. Wow. Bro, the first time Phil LaGreco was knocked out was by Errol Spence. And he fought Sean Porter. He fought Sean Porter before he fought Errol Spence. And this is when Sean Porter was undefeated with only 1 draw. He fought Sean Porter while Sean Porter was undefeated, and Sean Porter won by unanimous decision. And then he got knocked out by us. Man, come on now, guys. Come on. Then you look at Keith Thurman. The fact that one of his top wins is Josecito Lopez bothers me. That bothers me, guys. Paula Maldonado. Dang it, that dude's name is a tongue twister. Ugh. Sorry, my adorable son distracts me a lot. My adorable son distracts me a lot. He gets up every morning to look at the garbage trucks. Hold on, where's his name? Oh, he never even fought Paulie Malignaggi. That's right. Paulie Malignaggi ducked him. You better not duck me, son. So, peep this. The three top names on Keith Thurman's resume for wins. Okay, you're not gonna count Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao, mopped the floor with him. In my opinion, it was a dominant performance. Okay, Keith Thurman threw more punches, but they weren't doing anything to Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao pressed him forward, kept him on his back foot. Okay, so the top three names on Keith Thurman's resume is Josecito Lopez, Danny Garcia, and Sean Porter. When Sean Porter fought him, Sean Porter had already lost and had a draw. Danny Garcia was the only big name that he fought that was undefeated and beat. Y'all getting this? So like earlier when I said, yeah, Keith Thurman has more undefeated fighters on his resume, bro, one of them was 7-0. One of them was 6-0. One of them was 0-0. Y'all see what I'm getting at here, bro? One of them was 16-0. Yeah, but like, you kidding me? Errol Spence is 22-0. 39-0. 39-0. He dominated a guy who was 39-0, guys. $39-0. And then he had one that was 15-0. Not only that, you guys know how whenever fighters first go pro, they get thrown in the ring with tin cans so that they can have dominant performances and go on to be big stars and all this stuff. So like the guy may end up having like a losing record, like a really bad losing record. Peep this. And I'm not bragging on these records. I'm just saying like Errol Spence didn't get in there with a bunch of tin cans. So experience is the game whenever you get in the ring with somebody that like for your first time. So Errol Spence got in there with somebody that was 3-3 for the first fight. KO'd him. KO'd a guy that was 5-2-3. So he had 5 wins, 2 losses, and 3 top draws. He knocked him out. Knocked out a guy that was 0-1. Of course, he did that. That doesn't count. I'm not bragging on that. A guy that was 4-2-3, so 4 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws. Then he immediately stepped it up. His 5th fight, he fought against somebody that had 21 professional fights, 16 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Then he fought somebody that was 11-3, 4-1. That one doesn't matter. 5-3. Then immediately went to a guy that was 15-0-1. So this is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. His 9th fight, he fought somebody that was 15-0-1. Then a guy that had 28 fights. Then a guy that had 20 fights. And keep in mind, these after that 15-0 guy, that's when people started saying, I'm not giving him a shot. Like they wouldn't let him move up in competition, guys. He started having to fight just random people because nobody wanted to fight him. He finally got an impressive name on his resume whenever he got to fight Samuel Vargas. Samuel Vargas was a promising prospect at the time. He was a guy that was up for to compete for a belt, bro. He had a chance to go get a belt. This is Samuel Vargas. Then he went to Phil LaGreco. Phil LaGreco, whose first loss came to the hands of Sean Porter, and he got stopped for the first time by Errol Spence. Chris Van Heerden. Who till this day still only has 2 losses. He still only has 2 losses to this day. His only knockout came at the hands of Errol Spence. Alejandro Barrera was 28-2 at the time. Chris Algieri, y'all, I don't even have to go into that. Y'all know how he does. Got KO'd for the first time by Errol Spence. As a matter of fact, yep, KO'd for the first time by Errol Spence. And to this day, he only has 3 losses. That third loss was Errol Spence, and his only KO came at the hands of Errol Spence. Leonard Bundu, 33-1-2 at the time. Still to this day, his only knockout came at the hands of Errol Spence, and he's lost 1 more fight after Errol Spence. Kell Brook. The only fight he lost was against Triple G at that time. Triple G. As a matter of fact, to this day, he hasn't had another loss since those 2. And he got a technical knockout. He was technically knocked out by Triple G. Guess what? Errol Spence actually knocked him out. He quit against Errol Spence. After that, Lamont Peterson, the legend. And yes, he is a legend, whether you agree with it or not. After that, an undefeated fighter, Carlos Ocampo, who had a promising future in boxing. Still hasn't lost since he got knocked out by Errol Spence. And then after Carlos, you got Mikey Garcia, 39-0, and then Sean Porter. So how in the world do I not have the right to feel like Errol Spence has a more impressive resume than Keith Thurman? Tell me that. Keith Thurman's first fight was against a guy who had no wins, 2 losses, no draws. Then a guy that had nothing but a draw. A guy that was 5-6-1. A guy that was 5-13-1. A guy that was 9-9-0. A guy that was 6-22-3. 6 wins, 22 losses, and 3 wins. Then he fought an undefeated guy who was 6-0, just like him. Then he fought a guy that was 9-15, 9 wins, 15 losses. A guy that was 5-2, cool. But I mean, way late in his career, he had already had double-digit wins by then. But moving on. Then he fights a guy that's 26-36-2. The guy has 36 losses. Then a guy that's 10-13-1, 13 losses. 10-7-1, 8-9-3. Then another fighter that has a winning record at 7-0, Stalin Lopez, who was green at the time. 15-9-0. Okay, then the record. Nope. 19, 14, and 1. 14 losses. How many times did this guy backtrack? After beating Diego Gabriel Chavez, who's undefeated 22-0, which is an impressive win. Then he goes back and fights a guy that has 8 losses. Then he fights a guy that has 9 losses. Then he fights Leonard Bundu, who Errol Spence stopped, by the way, and Keith Thurman won by unanimous decision. Then he fights a guy with 6 losses. Then he fought Sean Porter, beat him. Then he beat Danny Garcia. So his longest streak of fighting a guy that doesn't have too many losses is 2, which was Sean Porter and Danny Garcia back to back. Then he fought Josecito Lopez, who had 7 losses. Then he fought Manny Pacquiao with 7 losses, but lost to him. I'm sorry, bro, but Keith Thurman's record, excuse my French, but his record is chicken shit, guys. I'm not his record, his resume. And then on top of all that, he only has 1 more knockout than Errol Spence, but he has 3 more fights than him. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. Never mind. But Errol Spence has an 80.77% knockout ratio, and Keith Thurman has a 70.97% knockout ratio. Keith Thurman started his career in 2007. Errol Spence started his in 2012, and he's already on Keith Thurman's heels. You're not active enough, bro. Like, bro, I'm looking at this stuff. The resume isn't even that good. He fought way more tin cans than Errol Spence. So let me count the tin cans. Guys with losing records. Matter of fact, let me just count. I won't even do that. I'll just count the guys who have more losses than wins. Oh, wait. I can't find one for Errol Spence because Errol Spence hasn't fought a single person that has more losses than wins. Let's look at Keith Thurman. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I won't count the draw. One guy is 9-9, but I won't count that. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so Keith Thurman has fought 8 people that have more losses than wins. 8 people that have more losses than wins. Sorry, bro. Keith Thurman don't have the better resume. Sorry, bro. Like, here's what it is. So, and a lot of people are talking about, oh, Errol Spence couldn't even knock out Mikey Garcia. For one, Mikey Garcia has never been knocked out before. He was fighting at 140 before he fought Errol Spence. So he didn't move up 2 weight classes. He moved up 1. He was fighting at 140. He was walking around at 160 plus. So if anything, it's easier to cut less weight to fight at 147. Thank you, Trey. I appreciate that. So see, and one thing that annoys me about a lot of people that do boxing media is, bro, they don't want to pull up the stats, bro. They don't want to pull up the punch stats. They don't want to pull up the boxing rec. I have all that pulled up right now because that's how you're supposed to do it. Like, you can't just run around blind giving approximate numbers and guesstimations, bro. That's not how you get the job done, and that's how you lose credibility. Because what if you're a little off? What if you're a little off? People aren't going to be like, oh, he was a little off. People are going to be like, oh, he doesn't know his facts. This, that, and other. I'm not going to let nobody do that to me. So people can argue with me all they want to. And on that video of I did about Keith Thurman. At the end of the day, bro, he doesn't have the resume or the stats or the capabilities to knock out Errol Spence or dominate Errol Spence. Real talk, bro. It would. You're right. And like I don't like to be wrong, but when I'm wrong, I admit it. Like, yeah, Keith Thurman fought more undefeated fighters, but they were green undefeated fighters. I'm just looking at this. So look, now I'm gonna compare uh fighters that Keith Thurman fought that have more than 5 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Keith Thurman has fought 16 people out of his 29 fights, or out of his 30 fights. He's fought 16. Half of them had more than 5 losses. Look at Errol Spence's resume. These are guys that have more than 5 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Errol Spence has only fought 4 people that have more than 5 losses. Only 4. Only 4 people that have more than 5 losses. And one of which is 6 and one of which is 7. And guess what? All of them have winning records. They all had way more wins than losses. Every last one of them. Way more wins than losses. One is 17 and 11. One is 24 and 10. One is 27 and 7. One is, where is it? Oh wait, is it only 3? 17 and 11. 12 and 6. Okay, 12 and 6. 24 and 10 and 27 and 7. Keith Thurman, like, bro, just look at these records. All these people that have more than 5 losses. 5 and 13. 5 and 6. 6 and 22. 9 and 15. 26 and 36. 10 and 13. 10 and 7. 15 and 9. 19 and 14. 28 and 8. 40 and 9. 36 and 6. 36 and 7. 61 and 7. That was Manny Pacquiao. And keep in mind, I'm not even counting the draws that they had, guys. Yeah, bro. Like, more than half the dude's resume is fighters with over 5 losses. And people gonna tell me, Porter has the more impressive resume. And please. But once, I guarantee y'all, once this video gets posted, they're gonna talk crazy. They're gonna talk about, oh, he's just biased and all that stuff. Why would he even go through all that just to prove a point? Because I take this stuff seriously. Y'all not fixing to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And the stats agree with me. I had one guy get on the video yesterday and say stats don't win fights, fighters do. Bruh. Stats don't win fights, fighters do. So you mean to tell me you can win a fight by getting knocked out? Because KOs are a stat. Knockdowns are stats. Punching analysis is stats. So your percentage, your accuracy, stats. Volume, stats. How many punches did you throw is volume. How many did you land is accuracy. Body punches, stats. Jabs, stats. Power punches, stats. Knockdowns, stats. Knockouts, stats. How many fights have you had? Stats. Anything dealing with numbers, period, are stats. And this idiot said stats don't win fights, fighters do. So you mean to tell me if the stats say every single round Errol Spence landed 10 punches and Keith Thurman landed 1. Oh, stats don't win fights. Fighters do. Those stats don't matter. The dude was heated, cussing everybody out and stuff because I kept bringing up the stats and the punching, the punching stats and the resumes. Bro, that's how you decide who's a better fighter. That's how you decide who won the fight, is the stats. How do stats not win fights, but fighters do? The only time a certain stat doesn't decide the win is when one stat outweighs another stat. Like, bro, the dude was the dumbest guy I'd ever argued with in my life. Like, I was so patient with him at first. I ended up cussing the dude out and telling him to get off my channel, don't come back, he's not welcome. And I blocked him when he sent me a message basically trying to apologize and saying he wasn't trying to show me up. Bro, then why were you cussing me out? And then why were you calling my subscribers and stuff out of their names? Like, bro, dude had me hot, bro. Dude had me hot. Dude said stats don't win fights. Fighters win fights. That's what made me mad. Him cussing me out didn't piss me off. Him calling people out of their names was annoying and I didn't like it. But that's not what set me off. What set me off was when he said, stats don't win fights, fighters win fights. And he got mad at me because he said the objective of boxing is to impose your skills and force the other fighter to win your fight. And I was like, well, no, the objective the objective of boxing is to hit and not get hit. That's what boxing is. Imposing your will is winning a fight. Boxing is hit and not get hit. What Ali did, what Floyd Mayweather did. Well, Ali did it at first, but what Pernell Whitaker did, what Floyd Mayweather did, what Roy Jones did, they were hitting and not getting hit. That's what carried them 75% of the way through their legacy, is hitting and not getting hit, and being able to knock their opponent out while doing it. Thank you, B. Dot. Thank you, G. Dot. Thank you, B. Dot, G. Dot. Hit and not get hit. Dude said, well, it's actually, you're saying this, but that's not it. It's boxing. You gonna get hit. There's no such thing as being able to box and not get hit. I was like, bro, that's not what I said. I'd never said that somebody's expected to hit and never get hit back. I said you're supposed to try. The objective, an objective is something you try, not something you automatically can do or something you're expected to do. But anyways, I don't even want to go on and on about that moron. Fact remains is people's bias comes out when you make a true statement. All of a sudden, when the stats are against that fighter that they're going for, stats don't matter. But whenever it's a fighter they don't like, they want to pull up the stats if that fighter's given the win. Like they love to pull up the stats on Floyd Mayweather when he fought Castillo. They love to pull up the stats on that. So why do those stats matter? But Sean Porter's stats versus like Errol Spence didn't matter. Those stats didn't matter. Yeah, everybody still thinks Sean Porter won the fight just because they don't like Errol Spence. And the only reason that they don't like Errol Spence is because Errol Spence is a rival to Terrence Crawford, who's built himself a really good resume and a really good reputation. But I'm gonna give you guys some truth, and a lot of people aren't gonna like it, but it is what it is. And that truth is Terrence Crawford has done absolutely nothing in the welterweight division. I will repeat, Terrence Crawford has done absolutely nothing in the welterweight division. And right now I have his resume pulled up. He has four welterweight fights. His first welterweight fight was against Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn was 18-0 with one draw. Okay. And yes, they say he beat Manny Pacquiao, but I watched that fight and I don't feel like he did enough to dethrone Pacquiao. Jose Benavidez. Oh no, he fought him at a catchweight. He fought Jose Benavidez at a catchweight of 145. So he didn't even fight him at welterweight. So he fought at welterweight. He fought Jeff Horn. He fought Amir Khan, and he fought. I'll just call him by his alias, Mean Machine, because I cannot pronounce it. Egidujis Kavaliauskas. Okay, so he fought Kavaliauskas, who was 21-0-1, so he had one draw. He fought Amir Khan, who was 33-4, had already been knocked out. He was already knocked out 3 times before he fought Terrence Crawford, and then he fought Jeff Horn, the paper champion, who hasn't gone any further than getting a regional title since his first. Okay, so one thing I can respect about Terrence Crawford is his first fight was against somebody that had a winning record, was 2-0. And they fought at 138 pounds or whatever. But his second fight, a guy that was 1-4. Third fight, a guy that was 8-25. Then a guy that was having his debut fight. Then a guy that was 5-6. A guy that was 9-10. A guy that was 3-4, 3-11, 9-14, 1-3, 23-45, 6-10, 15-6, 20-11, 9-6, 11-2, 16-5, 15-10, 19-6, 26-4. Then he fought somebody that had a decent record at 34-1. Well, more than decent. That's a good record. 16-0. Okay. 36-2. 23-0. Okay, cool. 29-6. So you go back to that dumb stuff. 26-5. 29-6. And nobody cares that the name was Molina. It is what it is. So Terrence Crawford's resume isn't all that great either. I know we're talking about talking boxing, but we need a live filet reaction. Oh shoot! I got y'all another time. But I'm just annoyed with this. So it's like they're calling Terrence Crawford the pound for pound greatest, but just like I did did for Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, I'm gonna do the same for Terrence Crawford. So the first time I'm gonna go for guys who have more losses than wins. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he's fought 10 fighters that have more losses than wins. And now we're gonna turn around and go for fighters that have over 5 losses. Over 5 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 fighters. Sorry, Errol Spence has the better resume. I'm sorry, he does. He does. If most of your wins were over people that shouldn't have even been in the ring with you, I'm not gonna count that. No, I'm not gonna do that. Not only that, he stopped Amir Khan by hitting him in the groin. And a bunch of people are saying, oh, Amir Khan laid down. He should have fought through it. Okay, so you regular Joe Schmoes, go ahead and take a punch to the groin, which has a main artery in it. One of your main arteries is in it. Go ahead and take a punch like that from a knockout artist. Go ahead and do that. Since Amir Khan should have fought through it. Since he should have fought through that. That dude say he want to hear that filet. Filet, yeah. Bro, I'm just so aggravated with it, bro. It's like you try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like I assume everybody that gets on my channel and wants to talk boxing, I assume every last one of them knows at least a little something about boxing before I just write them off. It usually takes about a few back and forths with them not being able to provide substantial evidence to back up, or at least facts, not evidence, facts, substantial facts that back up, their side of the argument or their opinion. Most of them can't do it. Most of them can't do it. Most boxing channels agree with me. You've heard Fannon's Boxing say pretty much the same stuff I say, maybe not word for word, but in so many words, we agree. Barbershop Conversations, my boy Fred, salute. We agree on a lot of the same stuff. Champside, we agree on a lot of the same stuff. Boxing Ego, we agree a lot on the same stuff. Dante's Boxing Nation, we agree. Even Aki TV sometimes agrees with what I agree with. So, for people to get on my stuff and say all this dumb stuff, are y'all getting on all those boxing platforms and saying the same thing? Because all of them have anywhere from 20,000 subscribers to 200,000 subscribers. Wait, does one of them have 200 and something thousand? Right? I'm pretty sure one of them does. But yeah, these guys have an abundance of subscribers. So if all these people subscribe to them because they agree with the stuff they're saying, they got to know something, right? Even me, I don't have that many subscribers. I'm just above 5.5K subscribers. But even with that amount, I have to know something if that many people agree with me, bro. If that many people agree with me. And yeah, like I post silly videos, so some of my subscribers probably came from the comedic stuff. But at the end of the day, bro, I know my stuff. Like you can't just discredit me. But yeah, y'all, I'm off that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Even if you're getting to this video after the live has been ended, which is about to end now, go ahead and leave your contrasting opinions in the comment section. But y'all better have some legitimate stuff to say. I don't want to hear nothing about. I don't want to hear nobody talking about stats don't matter. I don't want to hear nobody trying to argue with the resume situation because the proof is in the pudding. You're fighting a guy with 36 losses or 40 something losses. That's not okay. I'm sorry. You're not finna say. I mean, it is okay, but you're not fixing to say that you're better than a guy that's not doing any of that. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna say they have a better resume than somebody who's not doing that garbage. The majority of your wins were over people that have a significantly larger amount of losses than wins. But anyways, yeah, hit the comment section, and if you haven't liked this video yet, you need to like it. I don't know why so many people refuse to like the video, but y'all need to like this. So leave a like and please hit the subscribe button. Hold on, I'm getting my butt whooped in this game. So that does it. I fit in out.